Okay, let's dive right into this. You literally can't open an IDE these days without tripping over some startup demanding your credit card for AI features. It's exhausting, right? So today, we're skipping all that noise. We're looking at OpenCode. It's an open source alternative that is quietly becoming the ultimate daily driver for developers everywhere. Why? Because it completely replaces those ridiculous monthly fees with totally unrestricted capability.
So ask yourself this. What if your absolute most powerful AI assistant was completely open source? Just think about your current workflow for a second. You're probably slamming into API rate limits, right? Or dealing with walled gardens, or staring down a hefty monthly bill just to get a handful of intelligent code suggestions, usually right when you're staring down a mountain of unresolved Jira tickets. Now, imagine stripping all of those barriers away. Gone. That is the exact mindset OpenCode drops you into. It totally flips the script on the standard model where you're just renting access to an AI, and instead, it literally hands you the keys to the entire engine.
Powerful, free, and open source. In the software world, the old joke is that you only ever get to pick two, right? But OpenCode actually manages to pull off all three. It's wild. This thing is designed from the ground up to be your daily driver, the tool you boot up right alongside your very first cup of coffee. As a dev, finding an indispensable tool that doesn't just quietly siphon money out of your bank account every 30 days, especially when you're already paying for hosting, servers, and, let's be honest, enough coffee to fuel a small nation, that is a massive game changer. It genuinely democratizes AI, giving you top-tier code generation, debugging, and library comprehension without a single recurring charge. Let's walk through a real day-in-the-life workflow with this. OpenCode doesn't force you into some single, restrictive little window. Step 1, you might start your morning right in the terminal command line, just spinning up some boilerplate or running bash scripts. Then, for step 2, you need to map out some complex logic, so you shift over to the really sleek desktop app. And finally, step 3, you are right there with direct IDE integration, deep in the weeds debugging complex functions. The AI just follows your process. It doesn't break your focus. You aren't constantly switching context, frantically copy and paste from some browser tab. OpenCode is just always there, perfectly adapting to how you work. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive divide in the AI landscape right now. On one side, you've got traditional AI. You know the drill: forced subscriptions, hidden fees, those tiered pricing models that actually punish you for using the tool too much. Plus, usually zero transparency about what they're doing with your data. On the completely opposite side, you have OpenCode, ultimate control. You want to use free models? Go for it. Want to securely plug in your own API keys? You can do that too. You dictate your costs and you dictate your privacy. It is literally a night and day difference from the restrictive, walled garden tools dominating the market right now.
So what actually makes all this freedom possible? It's a concept called model neutrality. Let's unpack that jargon for a second. Basically, it's the ability to freely select, switch, or plug in any large language model without being locked into a single ecosystem. You aren't chained to one giant tech company's platform. By just tweaking a super simple config.toml file or clicking through the settings panel, you grant yourself the absolute freedom to switch between a huge array of free models or plug in those personal API keys we just talked about. You tailor the AI's brain specifically to the task at hand, swapping models as easily as you'd swap branches in Git.
Now, looking under the hood at the engine driving all of this, first off, it is entirely privacy first. Your code stays yours. It isn't being silently scraped in the background to train some proprietary model without your consent. Huge relief, right? On top of that, OpenCode integrates directly with the Language Server Protocol, or LSP. This means it actually understands the deep architectural context of your entire project, so you're getting highly intelligent suggestions and absolutely lightning-fast error detection. Throw in multi-session capabilities for those massive projects where you can essentially have the AI untangling multiple chaotic threads of logic at the exact same time, and man, it becomes a serious technical powerhouse. Let's move to and see how this builds across an entire developer's career journey, because this really highlights the democratization of AI we're talking about. Look at day 1. You've got a student who desperately needs clear explanations, but absolutely cannot afford a premium $20 a month subscription. Fast forward to year 3. Now you're a professional developer really pushing boundaries. You're utilizing that LSP integration to ship complex projects at scale, all while strictly managing your own API costs. And by year 5 and beyond, you're an open source enthusiast, actively building the future of the very tool you use by contributing to its codebase. It literally grows with you. There's an incredibly powerful quote from the source material that really just cements OpenCode's absolute commitment to transparency. It says, "No forced subscriptions, no hidden fees, just pure, unadulterated AI coding power. And honestly, that really is the entire core philosophy here. When you just strip away all the corporate bloat, the constant annoying upselling, and those restrictive billing models, what are you left with? You're left with exactly this. Just you, your code base, and an incredibly capable AI partner that's ready to execute your vision. Which leaves us with one final provocative question for you to think about. Are you ready to experience the future of coding? If you are sick and tired of subscription balls and you actually value your privacy, the path forward is pretty clear. I mean, it's really time to ask yourself whether you want to keep just renting your AI or if you finally want to own your workflow. Head over to opencode.ai to explore it for yourself and absolutely take back control of how you build software.